Hi students, today we have to discuss about the human evolution. And before that, I want to conclude some other types of selection in addition to the stabilizing selection. Then we have that is directional selection and disruptive selection. What are the other types of selections? Number one, kin selection. That concept was developed by Darwin in relation to the honeybees. So what is kin selection? It is one of the evolutionary strategies, say I here given the definition, that favors normally the reproductive success of organisms' relatives, even at the cost to the organism's own survival and reproduction. That means one organism or its close relative, maybe an organism, normally helping its close relative in its reproductive success. That's the meaning for that one. So here, it is an evolutionary strategy that favors the reproductive success of an organism's relatives. For example, if you are taking the honeybee in a colony, we have different types, male, drones, the female, the workers, and then one queen bee responsible for the production of the eggs. Now, what is the role of the female worker bees? Now they are diploid females, developed from the diploid eggs, released from that is a queen bee. Now these workers help in raising the egg of the queen bees. So helps to rise what we have the queen bee's eggs, and that is its role. Okay, and also it is responsible for the reproductive success of the queen bee. So I mentioned here just favors the reproductive success of organisms' relatives. Here the organism's relative is queen bee. The organism is nothing but the female worker. So as it is responsible for raising the development of eggs in the case of queen bees. And also normally it is responsible for the reproductive success of the queen bees. So the relative of female, that is the worker bee, is nothing but the queen. So it helps the queen bee to develop, to raise its eggs, and also responsible for the reproductive success of what is called the queen bee. That's the meaning for that one, kin selection. Even at the cost of the organism's own survival and reproduction. You know the female honeybees are sterile in nature. They are sacrificing their own what is called what we have the reproductive ability. But they are surviving. And they are helping what is called the female, the queen, for developing the eggs. That's why it's called as a kin selection. Now kin means here referring to the relatives. Now example honeybees, that concept was developed first by Darwin in related to the kin concept or kin selection. But the name kin selection was given by John Maynard Smith. So in the book there is no definition, but the word is given. You have to know the meaning of kin selection. Now the another one, altruism. It is also another method. So it is defined an act of an animal in which an animal sacrifices its own well-being for the benefit of others. Okay, an animal sacrifices its well-being for the benefit of others. So that is called altruism. So this is, you can see the case of dolphins. Dolphins normally help other animals when there is a need. So there is also the development and also related to what is called the selection. The selection helps certain individuals through somebody, here altruism. Now sexual selection. It is another type of natural selection. It acts normally, you know that one organism's ability to obtain or just actually you see that one successfully copulate with a male. So in Darwin's selection, normally he didn't consider sexual selection. So sexual selection is nothing but an act. Actually it is acting on organism's ability, whether the organism is able to mate with what is called the male or not, referring to the female. That is called sexual selection. Those individuals have the ability or able to just successfully just mate with a male, they are being selected. That is called sexual selection, but in Darwin's concept of natural selection, this is not being included. He didn't consider sexual selection. The fourth type, what we call the group selection. Here a group of individuals are selected together by nature. This is called group selection. So these are all the other types of selection in addition to the stabilizing selection. Then we have other types of selection like directive selection, disruptive selection, etc. So in the book only given the birds are given, but you have to know the examples in relation to. There is a neat examination, and also we have this one in the case of dosage compensation. There you have just in relation to what is called parthenogenesis, dosage compensation. We have this word is available in the previous chapter. I am giving the definition here. Okay, go through that one. If you are studying evolution in terms of population genetics, we have that one statement. So evolution does not mean that the population is moving towards perfection. It's not that one evolution. Rather, the population is changing the genotype or the genetic makeup just over generations. Generation after generations, if we have any change in the gene frequencies and genotype frequencies, then only we have the formation of new species that resulted in evolution. Simply moving towards perfection is not acceptable. Change in gene frequency or genotype frequency, that is called the genetic makeup. When there is a change in the genetic makeup, automatically we have variations resulted leading to the formation of new species. So this concept you have to remember that one. So anyway, change in allelic frequency or genotype frequency results in variation, and that is the raw materials for evolution. So we have formed many descendants with new species or with variations in their phenotype, resulting in the formation of a new species. Before talking about the human evolution, we have to talk about the classification of mammalia, the class Mammalia. So the mammals are coming under, that the vertebrates, animals with mammary glands. Now the class Mammalia includes several orders. One such order to which the monkeys, the gorillas, we have chimpanzees, humans are included, that is order primates. Now we are the gorillas, the apes, the orangutans, the chimpanzees, all coming under, simply we are called that one apes. So we are coming under a superfamily what is called Hominidae, which includes both human beings as well as the apes. Now this Hominidae is further divided into just actually two families. One Hominidae we are included. So the Hominidae includes greater apes, larger in size, greater apes. And the Hylobatidae, another what's of the family, which includes lesser apes, smaller in size, lesser apes. So these are all the two families coming under the superfamily Hominidae. Now the Hylobatidae, that is what we have, the family includes Hylobatidae, nothing but the gibbons. They are a distant relative of humans, They are not coming under just what we have, the apes, great apes, including the gorillas, we have chimpanzees and also orangutans. But it is a distant relative of, that is humans. Now, this Hominidae includes two subfamilies. One is Hominidae and another one Poaceae. The Poaceae includes what we have, the Pongo, nothing but the orangutans, greater apes, a distant from what is called humans, a distant relative. Now the next one we have, this Hominidae includes two tribes, what is called Hominini and another one Gorillini. The Gorillini includes what we have, the gorilla. So gorillas are included under the tribe, that is Gorillini. Now this Hominini, the tribe, is further divided into two genera. One is Homo, that is what we have, the Homo sapiens, different types of human beings, that is humans. Another one Pan, nothing but chimpanzees. So if we are analyzing what we have, the human evolution, humans, chimpanzees, gorillas, orangutans, they are coming under one category, what we can say, great apes. And then the gibbons are coming under another category, the lesser apes. So gibbons are the distant relatives of humans. The close relatives of humans are chimpanzees. The close relatives of humans are chimpanzees. The distant relatives of humans are hylobates or the chimpanzees. If you are comparing the chromosome number between human and chimpanzees, the chromosomes 3 and 6, the chromosomes 3 and 6 are similar between humans and chimpanzees, indicating a close relation. So we call actually these individuals, the greater apes, simply hominids. Hominids include what we call the greater apes. We have been descended from what we call the apes only, not from the monkeys. Okay, this is about the classification before starting that one. Now the mammals in northern world, they originated or they evolved nearly 210 million years ago during the early Jurassic period. Early Jurassic period. 200 million years ago during the early Jurassic period. In the geological time scale, we have the eras, then we have the periods and epochs. We will study in the next class. Now, one such era is the Mesozoic era, that is the Middle Age. And during that period, the reptilians were dominant. So, we have the Mesozoic era divided into Triassic, Jurassic and Cretaceous. Now the mammals evolved. The early Jurassic period, just 210 million years ago. You know that when the hominids or humans evolved in Asia and Africa, human evolution occurred mainly in Africa along with Asia also. So in Africa and Asia, we have the human evolution. Now the hominids normally proved that they are normally just actually more efficient in what is called art and culture. And they are actually moving to different places from one area to another for their cultural evolution. They are more efficient in making tools also, and they can adapt themselves to different environmental conditions. Now we can see what are the different types of the earliest fossils of humans. For example, the earliest fossil of prehistoric man, one after another. I will give it the form of descending manner. First one. So we have different actually people, different humans, types of humans given in different books. But as per our book is concerned, I want to just precise those human beings. That is what we have the fossils recorded in our book. I don't want to go further beyond that one, but it's enough also for the need. Okay, I will represent the human evolution in a descending order, one after another. Hi students, now I would like to start the various actually the fossils of humans since from their origin. So different actually consequences, different names were given in different books, and I am following what we have in our just board syllabus as well as the NCERT syllabus. So I start with one I given already, that is the major classification. I call that one the hominids. The hominids are nothing but the greater apes. They proved that the humans are superior than other animals. They are more efficient in culture and what is called the tool makings. Now I start with Dryopithecus. Now he lived just nearly during the Miocene, that is epoch. So we have, you know that one if you are taking the various geological time scales, we have eras, just we have the periods and epoch. So one such period or one such what we have, that is what we can say that is era, Cenozoic era, which includes two periods, Quaternary and then what is called Tertiary. In the Tertiary periods, further classified into 5 epochs, what is called Paleocene, Eocene, Oligocene, Miocene and Pliocene. So, human evolution started during the Pliocene. Origin and evolution of man during the Pliocene epoch. Then the cultural evolution of man occurs in the tertiary period, in the quaternary period, one above, what is called Pleistocene. Pleistocene. So Pliocene is responsible for the evolution of man. Then in the quaternary period, another epoch, what is called Pleistocene epoch. During that period only, cultural evolution of man occurred because the environment favored the cultural evolution of man. Now we have the Dryopithecus, one of the apes, that is actually the genus of primates, and that normally just lived between Miocene and Pliocene. That's why it's called Myo-Pliocene ape. Now from that one derived the earliest fossil of prehistoric man. The earliest fossil of prehistoric man, that is Ramapithecus and Sivapithecus. They lived some 14 million years ago, and the Ramapithecus and Sivapithecus and Dryopithecus all just hairy nature. The body is covered with hair. They walk like gorillas and chimpanzees. So these two derived from Dryopithecus, but all these three had common characters. That is hairy body and walk like just the gorillas and chimpanzees. Now from this one we have the formation of just what is called the Australian ape man. Australopithecus, commonly called Australian ape man. He lived in East African grasslands. He lived in just 5 million years ago. So lived in East African grasslands, lived 5 million years ago. Now this man, also called Southern ape. So he stood first in human evolution. So the modern humans believed to be evolved from what is called Australopithecus. And there was a fossil received, that is the name of the fossil Lucy. So Australopithecus afarensis, that is the name of the binomial of the what we call this a fossil. Australopithecus afarensis, a female fossil was obtained, and that was called actually Lucy. Now what are the characteristic features of Australopithecus? So it is normally omnivorous, just like modern humans, Homo sapiens, and also Cro-Magnon man, omnivorous in feeding. Now one of the apparent changes during, that is actually the human evolution, increase in brain capacity. This is an apparent change that took place during the evolution of man, that is increase in brain capacity. If you are analyzing the brain capacity of Australopithecus, you see that one it is about 350 to 450 cubic centimeter or cc. That's volume, 350. The brain capacity and the size of the brain, 350, 450 cc. From that onwards, we had increased brain capacities. Next one 650 to 800. Next one 900. Next one 1400. Now we have 1300 to 1300. So 1300 to 1600 cubic centimeter. That is the brain capacity. There is apparent changes that took place during the evolution of man. So what are the other characteristics? So he stood first in human evolution, man-like. Then 1.5 meter tall, having bipedal locomotion. These people now receive Dryopithecus, Ramapithecus, Sivapithecus. They use all the four limbs, but here these individuals use bipedal locomotion. And now semi-erect, not fully erect in nature, lived in caves, not in the open terrace. Then lumbar cow in vertebral cow. Just like we have, there is a cow in the backbone, that is called lumbar cow. They also had lumbar cow in vertebral column. Low forehead, the forehead is very low, just lying low level. Then broad ridges over the edges, over the eyes. So we have a large actually ridge, and there only we had what is called eyebrows. So raised, that is broad ridges. Protruding face, the face is protruding forward. The lack of chin, so the jaws are protruding but the chin is normally suppressed. Then low brain capacity, what I mentioned, and also they had a dentition similar to modern humans, namely Homo sapiens. So the Australopithecus believed to be the first actually, that is man-like human being, and believed that we have originated from Australopithecus, just like ape. Okay, this is about what we have Australopithecus. And normally remember that one, when did they just evolve? And what was the nature of their, what is called procuring food, either omnivorous or carnivorous? So we have Cro-Magnon man, Australopithecus man, and also modern man, all omnivorous feeders. All omnivorous feeders. Okay, so one of the apparent development, so one of the apparent change during evolution of man, increase in brain capacity or increase in brain size. Let us continue further about human evolution. The next stage in human evolution was Homo Habilis. He was the first human-like being, even though just Australopithecus looked like human being, but he was the first human-like being. Lived about 2 million years ago, and they had bipedal locomotion just like Australopithecus. Their brain capacity was 650 to 800 cc. I mentioned already one of the apparent changes during the human evolution was increase in brain capacity. In Australopithecus, I mentioned about 350 to 450 cc. Now here a slight increase from 650 to 800 cc. Now they were normally just vegetarian, ate fruits, then they used tools. First person used tools. And these tools were made from chipped stones, not from iron, made from chipped stones. Now the next one, Homo erectus. The fossil was found in Java Island, hence is aptly called just Homo erectus. Now we have different types of Homo erectus. For example, Homo ergaster. Homo erectus and Homo ergaster, another person, another fossil, human fossil, the prehistoric man. So Homo erectus and Homo ergaster, these were the two first to leave Africa and reaching different parts of the world. Now we have Homo erectus similar to Homo erectus in China. There was a fossil form, and that fossil was called Homo erectus pekinensis, Chinese representative. And also we have another fossil similar to Homo erectus, what is called Homo Heidelbergensis. And these were the different types of fossils related to this Homo erectus. So Chinese representative, Homo erectus pekinensis. Okay, now this Java man, as they had erect posture, semi-erect posture, not fully erect posture, semi-erect posture, hence the name was given Homo erectus. Now first human-like being, even when compared to Homo habilis, they had just appearance, looked like human being. So lived about 1.7 million years ago, that is 2 million years ago, we had what is called Homo habilis. Now we have this person 1.7 million years ago. So they had look more or less similar to the modern humans. Now here the brain capacity again increased from 650 to 800 cc to 900 cc. Okay, now what are the characteristics? Skull was flatter and thicker than what we have the modern man. Okay, first man showing semi-erect posture, that's why the name is given Homo erectus. And we had, that is fossils similar to Homo erectus, like Homo erectus pekinensis, Homo erectus heidelbergensis, etc. And Homo erectus and Homo ergaster, another fossil man, were the first. They left Africa to reach other parts of the world. Now, from this Homo erectus, we had another person, the fossil man, Homo neanderthalensis, normally called Neanderthal man, because the fossil was recovered from what is called a valley in Germany, Neanderthal. Hence the name was given Neanderthal man. That's why Homo neanderthalensis. Now, one question also, the brain capacity similar to the modern man. So he had the brain capacity similar to the modern man, nearly 1400 cc. Though we have nearly 1 1300 to 1600. Now the fossil man had a brain capacity similar to modern man was, that is Neanderthal man. Here the brain capacity 1400. Now let us go to just the characteristics of that person. I want to write on the board for your reference. Now let us continue, that is Neanderthal man. I mentioned about from where we have recovered the fossils. Now they had the brain capacity 1400 cc, and that is a question similar to modern man. So the fossil man whose brain capacity similar to modern man, that is Neanderthal man. Then they lived between, that is 34,000 to 1 lakh years ago. Then actually they had some characteristics different from the modern man. But the main characters were, that is brain capacity. Then we have other properties, other characteristics of such humans. Mainly important questions also. They used animal hides for protection. That was the first time a man, fossil man, had used, that is what is called actually dresses. They used the animal skin, that is animal hides, nothing but animal skin for protection, covering the body. They knew the use of fire. First man knew the use of fire. Then also the first time they buried their dead body. The previous actually fossil men didn't know the burying actually the property, and now these fossil men now buried their dead. So these four were the important characteristics of, that is the Neanderthal man. Now they were similar to modern man, but they were different from modern humans in having the following characteristics. Number 1, semi-erect post. Number 2, flat cranium. Just we have curved cranium, they had flat cranium. Sloping forehead. That means we have the hands normally not present up to the forehead level. Heavy brow ridges, the ridges are dark then raised. That is on which only we have the eyebrows. Thin, large orbits. Orbits are large but thin in nature, made up of very thin bones. They did not practice agriculture and also domestication of animals. They didn't know that one. They didn't do agriculture and also just actually domestication of animals. Then they had protruding jaws. Jaws are protruding but the chins are very much reduced. No chin even. So protruding jaws and the chin was normally very much reduced or absent. So these were the characteristics of Neanderthal man, and after what we have Homo erectus. Now we have to go for two more. One Cro-Magnon man, another one the modern man. Now let us see that one in the board with some points about these people. The next man in human evolution was Cro-Magnon man, normally called Homo sapiens, the most top modern man. He is also having the brain capacity similar to the present man. Now found from the rocks of Cro-Magnon in France, hence the name given Cro-Magnon man. So they were considered as the ancestors of modern Europeans. So modern Europeans, their ancestors were Cro-Magnon man. So they were adapted to various environmental conditions. But the most important just actually feature of these people, they were known for their what is called the cave paintings. They left cave paintings. Till today also we have these paintings. They left cave paintings. Even the figures on the walls, on the floor. These are the important characters. Known for the cave paintings, figures on walls and then floor. When compared to other people, they knew that is also the painting. And that is also another important question. So the fossil man, that is normally known for what is called cave paintings. Actually just we see that one is spelling mistake here. I want to write it. Cave paintings, figures on walls and the floor. That's about Cro-Magnon man. Now we have to talk about a few sentences about the modern man, Homo sapiens sapiens. The last stage in human evolution is nothing but the modern man. Just we have Homo sapiens sapiens. Why the name was given? That is for human beings, Homo sapiens. The meaning for that one, wise man or knowing man. That's why actually the name is given Homo sapiens. So the present modern man evolved in South Africa from 25,000 years ago. Then from South Africa they moved to different continents and developed into different races. Now they started, that when compared to others, the cultural evolution occurred. So they started, that on crop cultivation and domestication of animals. I mentioned already the origin of man took place during the Pliocene epoch or Tertiary period. But the cultural evolution of man occurred only during the Pleistocene epoch. So cultural evolution of man occurred in Pleistocene epoch of the Quaternary period of Cenozoic era. The Cenozoic era is aptly called as age of mammals. And further development takes place, that one, we are leading towards at most what is called the complexity. I think so there is no further evolution of man. That is because of we reach almost the maximum complexity. And the next one, that from computer evolution, just in the case of human beings, that may or may not occur. That's different. So that's about the human evolution and given in the form of part by part the different stages, starting from using that one, that's Diopithecus, then Ramapithecus, and Sivapithecus, Australopithecus, Homo Habilis, Homo Erectus, Homo Neanderthalensis, Cro-Magnon man, and finally modern man. Go through stepwise manner. And this was supposed in the last year, March question paper, that is in 12th standard. So that's very important question also, read one by one, etc. Thank you. So I am completing this one, what we have, the human evolution. One more part remains, what is called the geological time scale. I will conclude in the next class, then I pass on to the next lesson.